The U.S. government recently added South Korea to its list of sensitive countries, which designates nations viewed as potential risks to national security. This has raised concerns that it could place restrictions on South Korea-U.S. cooperation in critical areas like energy and advanced technology. In today's segment, we'll take a closer look at the background behind this decision and its potential implications, especially why the U.S. would include a key ally like South Korea on such a list. Joining us is one of South Korea's leading experts on South Korea-U.S. relations, Dr. Sang-hyun, Sejong from Sejong Institute. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to join today's program.
So the question that everybody has in mind is why the U.S. labels South Korea, which is a key ally in the Pacific, as a sensitive country. Well, especially this happened during the Biden administration, not a Trump administration. So are there any reasons publicly disclosed so far?
Well, first of all, it's quite a surprise and also embarrassing to see why Biden administration put South Korea on the sensitive country list, because generally Yoon Suk-yeol administration and Biden administration maintained good relationship on most of the issues. So there was some speculation on the Korean media whether South Korea's December 3 President Yoon's martial law incident and the following domestic political chaos, and also increasing voice inside Korea about independent nuclear weapon program. So I think that's kind of a all combined, and also media. That was the media speculation, but officially, U.S. government told that it's not a policy issue. Instead, violation of a security procedure was the key reason that DOE put South Korea on the sensitive country list, meaning that South Korea needs a special consideration in DOE internal review process or working together on sensitive issues.
Yes, right. One of the key issues related to this one is that South Korea wasn't informed or consulted before the decision by the DOE. So do you think there could be some kind of an underlying reasons why this was happening? Do you have any reasonable inference?
Well, still we don't hear much about what is the behind the story about U.S. DOE's decision. But I believe it's a kind of a warning signal for South Korean government, meaning that in the future, South Korea should respect any security-related procedures. And also, the U.S. may be watching Korea because of many other reasons. I believe some concern about the nuclear proliferation, because the South Korean public has a high proportion to support the South Korean independent nuclear weapon program. So that's the kind of background that I can conjecture. But still, we don't know much about actual behind the story about this decision.
So if the designation stands, what kind of restrictions can we expect? Because currently we have 123 agreement with the U.S. So especially in the area of nuclear energy cooperation, what parts of the agreement will be at risk?
Well, think about a sensitive list, kind of a meaning that South Korea has become a state of concern for some national security reason. And also, South Korea is now on the watch list, meaning that like a sensitive, working together in a sensitive area like a nuclear cooperation, South Korea may be reviewed more with a more strict standard and procedure. So think about South Korea, U.S. and nuclear cooperation. We have a 123 agreement, the so-called 123 agreement, which is name came from 1954 U.S. Nuclear Act. Article 123 specifically mentions some of the requirement for nuclear cooperation between Korea and United States. So U.S. and Korea has now a nuclear cooperation agreement. The last time it was revised was the 2015. On that revision, both parties agreed to set up HLBC, High-Level Bilateral Commission, to further discuss some of the common concern about nuclear cooperation. And also, by that agreement, South Korea and United States has cooperated in many nuclear-related areas, like designing next generation reactor, like SMR, and also providing stable nuclear fuel. And also, there is a way that South Korea can do something on spent nuclear fuel management. But this sensitive list means that in order for South Korea to do jointly with the US government, DOE now puts some more strict standard, whether it is a compliance with the existing security procedure and so on. One example is like this. If a person from sensitive country list want to visit sensitive facilities in the US, that person must apply for permit 45 days prior to the event. But in other case, either 5 days will be enough. So it means a little more inconvenience for working together.
Right. And also the DoD covers a lot of issues, including advanced technology. So do you think, technologies like AI or quantum computing related cooperation between South Korea and the US can be affected because of this recent decision?
Well, I'm sure that there will be some negative impact. Think about artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and other high-tech area. Most of these areas are quite important for US because of national security implications. So in order to have some joint research, for example, and also joint research project, that means that South Korea now, because we are on the watch list, probably persons who engage in such a joint venture may have been reviewed more strictly by the DOE. And also, because of that, perhaps we have another implication is that like sensitive technologies. One of the United States, one of the countries that maintains very high standard for export control and transport technology. It means that such a high-tech area like AI, quantum computing, obviously that will have some negative impact, I guess. So perhaps South Korea have to raise its own standard for security procedure.
Because of that considerations, South Korea is trying to pursue a reversal. And some view that probably President Trump may reverse the previous policy. Do you think it's likely to happen? How is
Well, I don't think that's the issue that only one person, president himself can solve because all government agencies in the United States government, like a Department of Department of State and Department of DOE, they maintain some list to watch carefully about their business. So it means that despite even President wants to remove Korea from the sensitive list, there's an internal process for each government agencies. So maybe a DOE will review again, and they must have some sufficient rationale to remove South Korea from the sensitive country list. So also US DOE must prove that South Korea now is a safe country to work together. So it will take time, I think.
It'll take time, and the reversal is not that easy. Then what kind of backup plan should South Korean government have in order to protect our nuclear cooperation and AI and other related, field?
Well, in general, in overall, I think that's the some aspect of that issue touches upon some aspect of trust between Korea and the United States. So think about if you are a U.S. decision maker who administers the nuclear non-proliferation issue. In South Korea, more than 60 and 70% of South Korean people support our own independent nuclear weapon program. Given that, if looking at from the nuclear non-proliferation perspective, U.S. decision makers cannot but have some doubt or suspicion about South Korea's real intention. So the real key is that how South Korea can give a trust to the U.S. decision makers about our intention about nuclear issue, and also our intention about high-tech cooperation between U.S. So in a sense, it's again coming back to the issue of trust, the fundamental trust between two governments. So I think that's the quite important issue that the South Korean government should work hard in the future. And also, we need to have some consideration about how South Korea can give a more strategic message to U.S. government that South Korea is not a country that want to violate the security procedure or violate some of the U.S. concern about nuclear proliferation, something like that. Yeah.
Well, these all things help us understand that the U.S. government is very, very sensitive about proliferation issues.
Yeah.
And because of that, some argue that there can be some connections between this decision and South Korea's internal discussions about nuclear armament. Do you think this decision may have an impact on South Korea's discussions one way or another?
Well, obviously, I see there may be some negative impact of South Korean discussion. Right now, as you know, there are many controversy inside Korea about nuclear options. Some people argue that South Korea should have our own nuclear weapon. Or below that level, some people claims that U.S. tactical nuclear weapons should be redeployed on the Korean territory. Or some people argue that we must have some sort of nuclear sharing agreement between, which is similar to NATO system. And below that, some people argue the so-called nuclear latency, which means that we have to acquire technology to quickly develop nuclear weapons, like nuclear enrichment or reprocessing of spent nuclear fuel. Well, other than that, most of the people support the current system of the nuclear extended deterrence by the U.S. So South Korea's real intention is not develop nuclear weapon. Instead, our purpose is to continue peaceful use of nuclear energy. So we must prove that, and I believe that's the some government policy should reflect our real intention about the nuclear issue, and I think. So burden is on the Korean government. We should prove our genuine intention to continue peaceful use of nuclear energy, not making nuclear bomb. That's our goal. I think that's the government responsibility to persuade the U.S. government.
Yeah, of course, you're right on that. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, it's kind of unfortunate that, as you know, right now South Korea is in deep political turmoil. December last year, President Yoon's trial to impose a martial law. After that, South Korean politics, particularly high-level politics, almost stopped. Diplomacy stopped. And in a sense, we don't have a captain in a very wild sea. So I hope that even though we are in quite an uncertain era, if you look at the global situation, because of the Trump's second-term influence, everything is in a very chaotic situation. Trump is shaking everything that existed so far. He is throwing away rule-based international order. And he also does not respect the allies and partners, and he tried to maximize U.S. national interest only. So that's the current situation. And we don't have a good commander-in-chief, meaning that South Korea is not in the position to make a good decision and good reaction to a changing global environment. And also, DOE's sensitive country list is something that very high-level politics is necessary. So either summit to summit, president to president level, or higher level discussion is necessary. But at this moment, we don't have that capacity because of the domestic political situation. So it's quite unfortunate for South Korea. But nevertheless, each government agency, like a industry department and any government agency that has responsible to do with dealing the U.S. side should work hard and try hard to maintain business as usual. I think that's what this government should do for the
like
time
you
being.
said, there should be concerted efforts to limit the fallout and also to ensure that escalating tension between the U.S. and South Korea may not happen in the coming months and years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.